Greetings from a very snowy Kansas City. This is Renee Benson at AV Renee KC, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hello, everyone. This is Murphy Daily at Written by Murphy, AV veteran, author, and PM Minutress. You are joining us for the AV Life.
Hey, James here, writer for the Higher Ed Digital Magazine Group, IT and AV column, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University, in a very seasonably climate accurate time here in New Jersey. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. Yes, today was actually a nice day here in Jersey.
Why do we have to talk about the weather? Because then Joe's going to make fun of us.
Yeah, he will, but that's fine. I don't care, because here's the thing: we are in that weird month of March that, like, yesterday we had snow and ice, and today it was 55 degrees and sunny. So I got nothing. So yeah.
That's Jersey for you.
That's Jersey for you. So, and I'm amazed that Renee has all the snow that she has. And Murphy, I'm going to say that you're probably 75 degrees today.
I think we're in the 60s.
Oh, okay. It's a cold day today. Okay.
A little bit
chilly there.
Yeah. The high today was 68.
The high was 68. Okay. So yes, it's a chilly day in California.
For what it is.
And last but certainly not least, we have a very special guest with us tonight, Miss Lex Peters. How are you doing, Lex?
Hello. I'm doing splendidly. Thank you for asking.
Oh, we are very happy to have you here on the show as the AV professional of 2021. So congratulations.
Sorry.
So I'm sure you've done your, have you like done like your professional tour? Like, has everyone reached out to you? Have you been like, like a dozen podcasts and stuff like that? Like, have you been like Miss Popular?
I want to say no. I think Joe had one.
Mm-hmm.
I might have done one with Tim, but I am not positive.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. All right. Well, I'm glad we jumped on this. So, and as we are recording this is the week where International Women's Day is. And as you know, here on the AV Life, we are surrounded by some fabulous AV women, and we are very thankful for that. Strong and admirable women, and we're very happy to have that your involvement in that. So thank you to our ladies that are here. So we're very, yes. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the episode, and we'll throw a few more questions at Lex as we go through. But first, the PM Minutress, as she introduced herself. And there's sounds something dark and sadistic about that, but
wow.
I maybe, wow. I don't know. I don't know.
It says a lot about you.
I like the drama.
The drama. Murphy's cracking the whip on her projects.
Okay, sure.
Whoppa.
Well, with that stellar intro, this one today, I like it when I can have a cute little like handle on it, like a little phrase or something.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, do you remember when Lucy would hold the football for Charlie Brown?
Mm-hmm.
And he would fall for it, and he would go up and kick the football, but she would pull it away so that he would fall back on his head.
Mm-hmm.
He believed her every time. Well, that's what this reminds me of a little bit, but it actually works. He wants that to happen. This is like something happy they're doing together until he falls on his head. But honestly, I guess the thing that is even more likely to get a person to do what is not necessarily, to fool them is when they're afraid. So trust but verify. That's kind of the project management minute today is so much of the time as a project manager, when you're managing projects, when you're trying to handle them, all these different streams of information are coming at. And the thing that you're like, okay, and you don't have to worry about them. So you just accept it and move on. Go, yes, this is all fine. But the thing that makes action happen is when like, oh, there's an emergency, go handle it, right? And that can takes all the attention. But maybe it's not an emergency after all. Maybe this is not something upon examination that requires action or as much action as someone seems to indicate. And I'm going to say that I tend to believe people. I tend to believe people like, okay, we have this emergency thing that's going to have to happen. It's got to be installed on Monday, and it's Friday. It's got to go. Oh, Monday. Okay. And I'm busy making it all happen. And then is anyone even going to be there on Monday? Who's going to be the person that, the customer contact? And it turns out when I call and say, hey, so Monday, customer says, oh yeah, I'm going to be on vacation. You can wait a week. That's definitely happened. Oh, well, I guess we're really set for a week from now. So all these things, it's not necessarily a reason to freak out, not a reason to believe, but yeah, trust but verify. So this is not a tidy packet, and it's definitely something I've had to learn through pain and suffering. But, check it out. Don't panic. Double check. See what's really going on. Don't believe, there's misinformation out there, right? Just check.
That's good. Because
like
one
that,
person's emergency might not be the next person's emergency, right? So, oh, look at Tim.
What?
Your background.
Oh, my background. Yeah.
That's fitting.
It's funny you brought up don't panic, because I feel like I feel like I've always had at least one person on a team that is that one that goes, oh, well, what about this? What about this? And what about this? And it's like, okay, there's no need to panic. And I'm reminded of, what was that?
Deep breath, count to 10.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And I'm reminded of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and the book that is in the book, the actual guide is on the big bold letters on the back of the book. It says, don't panic. Yes.
Oh my God. When I was an intern, the very early AV professional life that I have as the embryonic intern at NASA, I was so terrified of not knowing anything that I actually create this binder, which I still have this habit of always having a binder of things that I take notes and whatever. And on the front in green writing, comforting green writing, like it says in Hitchhiker's Guide, don't panic. And I carried that around with me all year just to go, it's okay. And I had a few other things like everyone has to learn and things like that. Like, I'm so scared because I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, don't panic.
So yes, no matter what the situation is, and I agree, Murphy. That's a good one. It's like, yeah, you have to take all the information in that is being provided to you, but double check what is being told to you.
Yeah.
So nicely done, Murphy. Yes, thank you for that, and our PM minute for this week. Which actually is it's interesting that comes up now, because I think as some of us are getting ready for spring break in higher ed, we are, at least on my end, we usually take this week to do little projects. And so it's little projects in a 5-day period that we just kind of want to knock out and just kind of get done. So the level of potential of panic is usually a little bit higher, because
Yeah.
instead of 8 weeks, 10 weeks during the summer, we're talking a week. So it's also a manner of setting reasonable expectations. That's another one.
Mm,
So
yeah, reasonable expectations.
so
But not always.
yes, exactly. So okay. Oop, and we lost Lex. She walked away.
Oh,
Puppy has my puppy has separation anxiety, so
Oh,
I'd rather just let him in than like have him scratching at the door. So.
I was gonna say animals and babies are always welcome on the AV life. So if that needs to happen, that needs to happen. So that's perfectly okay. So Lex, again, congratulations for AV Professional of the Year. And as we were talking about right before this has been a great year for you, personally, professionally.
I love this year, but 22 is my lucky number. So I had high expectations for this year, but I was telling Tim beforehand, it's already exceeded my expectations. So I can't wait. I mean, I'm kind of also waiting for like the ball to drop at some point, but we're going with it.
Yeah, it's just
Positive
ride.
vibes only. Positive only.
Yeah, ride the wave. That's it, you know. So keep that momentum going. So
Sure.
So I will say, so this year's AV Professional of the Year voting and everything like that was, I would say it's intense. I wasn't even a part of, like, I wasn't even nominated or anything like that. And everyone who was absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
And
Great.
when it came down to you and Aaron, I was sweating just as a voter. And Erin is amazing and she does wonderful work, and as does you. And either one of you could have been the AV Professional of the Year. And when it was announced that it was you, what went through your head at that moment?
I think I was really shocked. I didn't really see that one coming. So yeah, it was definitely shock, and then it was excitement, and then it was sadness because I love Erin. She's like one of my favorite, like, closest friends in the AV industry. That's yeah, it's one of my closest friends, period. And so I was really bummed about that, but then, you know, it definitely was something that I had to come to terms with, and it's okay to be proud of myself, but also, you know, not have to feel guilty for winning. But it definitely, I went through a lot of emotions within that like first couple hours. I swear I did all the steps of grief, but like but kind of celebrating too. So there's a lot of emotions.
All right. Yeah, that's it. That's perfectly okay. Like that's you know, we are, and we've always said it, especially in higher ed, and you know, also in the AV industry, we all know each other. We're all very close, and so yeah, that's perfectly acceptable to feel that way. Because if it was, I don't know, if it was like me and James, it's like, you know, if James got it, I would feel very happy for him, but then I feel bummed for myself. Like, you know, it's like, so it's completely like that's, yeah, I get it. So but
I'm
yeah,
with you, Tim, though. I was sweating too, because I think they're both amazing. And I'd be like, well, maybe one day I'll vote this way and one day I'll vote this way, and I'll give them both.
Yeah.
You know?
I commented a couple times. I was like, if you can't pick, just don't vote, or just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Let the fates decide. I also think that one other thing is, you know, a huge aspect of AVs, the community that's there. And that's been one of my favorite parts. I have my own little AV family. So I think that was also a really hard part, is I won, but it was like me being home alone. So I was like, woo, me and my dog. So I mean, it would have been really fun to be with Joe and everyone, and just like be able to celebrate with people who kind of understood the award. But you know, I don't mean to complain about something so exciting, but that definitely was like a reality of it. I just was like, okay.
Well, we will all have a chance to celebrate, hopefully, in a couple more months, because there's also another event that's coming up in June called Infocomm, which we are all very familiar with. And Lex, you are also presenting at Infocomm.
Yeah.
You want to give our listeners a little teaser on what your presentation is on?
Basically connecting technology and customer experience and how to have it seamlessly work together. And it'll be it's gonna be a lot of information. So come mentally prepared for just absorbing, just sponge.
Yeah.
Do you have your time slot yet? I actually didn't even look to see when you're presenting.
Yes, we do. I don't know it, but it's there. I think it's
It's
like
out there.
I want to say one something. I think.
Hold
But
on.
lots of cool players. We have Joe Way, we have Jimmy Singleton, I believe Mark Coxon, and Aaron. So
There you
Really?
go.
stoked.
That's great.
June 9th, 1:30 p.m.
Hey, my photographic memory saved the day. I don't have photographic memory, but
Mapping the customer journey. I like that title.
yeah, we had to like Joe made it at like a 12-word title, and all of us had to be like, Joe, it's not a competition how many buzzwords we can put in this. Like, it's okay for it to be simple. And he's like, okay. And then we all just like cut it down.
Joe, do something that's long-winded?
"Oh,
Never.
Never.
Poor Joe.
He's not here to defend himself. That's what you get for saying tentative to one of my meetings. So
It's best
There
that
you
way.
go.
We have fun without him. We need him not here sometimes just so we can poke a little fun here and there.
exactly.
I'll poke fun of him to him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I will say, and I do miss it's Joe's Joe.
Yeah.
I know half
Oh,
of Joe's
yeah.
Joe doesn't work for USC anymore, but the traitor that he is, but as Joe would say.
That's Joe.
Well, so on a funny note, like we miss it too, obviously, but also on like a serious note, I think Jimmy and I really needed to find ourselves in the AV industry separate from Joe. It's kind of like one of those, like, you can easily fall into the shadow of Joe. So we I think we slowly backed off of it naturally, not really thinking about it. And then we were finally, ourselves each individually were being identified, because at first I don't think anyone who really knew who I was, but they knew what Joe's Joe was. So it's fun, but it's also it had some issues. So
Yeah, I will say like my first introduction to the two of you was as Joe's Joe. Like it wasn't,
Yeah.
and now yes, I agree. This was a good move for both of you to become your individual selves within the AV industry. Because that was like, it was like, oh, there's Lex and Jimmy, and that's just Joe's Joe, and that was the pair of you that it was.
Yeah, and I think we got really lucky because it was also a really easy way to like break in and kind of break the ice for us, like, because especially me, Jimmy knew quite a few more people than I did, but I didn't know anybody. And Joe said like AV on Twitter, that's like where it's at. So I'm on Twitter. I don't know what to do. Don't know who to say hi to. I don't understand anything that's happening or who's who. So then by doing that, we were able to like become part of the community and kind of like scope it out. So that by the time we were ourselves individually, like I knew who people were. I kind of knew how it was. So, I mean, it helped me also in that way, because then by the time it was me separate from It's Joe's Show, I was a lot more confident in like tweeting and commenting and like all of that. Whereas before, I don't think I would have. So I think we hid behind Joe, and then we were like, excuse me, Joe, it's our time. So,
As you should.
Perfect. I mean, it sounds like a perfect plan that you didn't plan. It kind of just happened naturally, and
really
that's
worked out.
awesome. Yeah.
I do miss it though, because Jimmy and I had like a chat, and sometimes I wouldn't have time to tweet. So then I would like send a picture of Joe doing something stupid, and then Jimmy would tweet it, and we would just have this whole text message thread of just like crap on Joe, like tweeting ideas.
Oh, that's awesome. See, and that's like having the chat here in on the AV life. You know, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that you just don't know about. You two should write a book about that. I feel like there's material there for a book, you know, behind Joe's Joe or
Yeah, really.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Love to make money off of making fun of Joe. That'd be like the ideal situation. Yeah.
and then you could come on here and plug your book all the time, and I would be okay with that.
There you go. Potential.
Yes, potential. So, and speaking of Infocomm, yeah, these last few days have been so exciting for me, just from a spectator perspective, and as a, you know, I guess I could say I'm a media personality at this point. I can't believe I could say that, but yeah, with you know, so I'm seeing all these things on LinkedIn and like seeing all the people that are presenting, and so many great people among like yourself, Lex, but like, you know, I saw Steve Greenblatt, and I saw Aaron, and I saw it's like it was just all those windows of blue and purple and teal, and like they're just window after window after window on LinkedIn, and there's going to be so much great information in all these sessions. I just hope they don't all conflict, because it's going to really make things tough.
Just close your eyes and choose. Let the fates decide.
With the little spinny wheel, you know, it's like, what it'll be.
Yeah.
So, I'm also looking forward to Vegas. Like, and I've been to Vegas. I did like a day in Vegas when I went to go see my sister, but now I'm actually going to feel, oh, yay, Murphy. Sorry. Yeah, so I went out to see my sister. She lives in Utah for her wedding. And when I flew into Vegas, but then basically she picked me up at 2 a.m. and brought me right up to Utah. And on the way back, I spent an extra day, and I stayed in Vegas for a day and kind of ran around and looked at things real quick. And then, so I'm looking forward to spending a couple of days and actually looking around. So I'm excited for that. So, and also, you know, like yourself, Lex, I've gotten to know a lot of the people on Twitter, and this is going to be the Infocomm that I think it's going to happen. Like all these, everyone's coming to this one. It's like, even our AV Brits, you know, they're coming. I think they're coming. And it's like, you know, my tall people of AV are coming.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw you, I was like, oh my, this guy is so tall. Like, I did not picture you tall. I think you were the most surprising person. Like, when I saw you in person, I was like, whoa, did not think that was going to be the situation. Super.
Mm-hmm.
And the pictures, because Joe was posting pictures, and it was like, here's this group and Tim.
That was wild.
Well, when you get to know somebody only from, like, you know, the middle of their chest up, you can only picture how tall they possibly are. So, you know, we're all the same height here. So it's like,
yeah, this
we're
info
all
will be a little bit different than what you saw last fall. You'll see a little bit more. Hopefully you'll see more people. I think you're going to see a lot of people at this Infocomm.
I think, yeah, I think so. I think we're going to see more people. We're going to see more product. We're going to see more vendors. I think and we get two in a 12-month period. Like, that's less than a 12-month period. You know, this is exciting. Okay. Yeah. I can't do this. I can't look at the chat. Like, this is like, my ADHD just takes me away. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
I heard this is the one to bring your walking shoes though. So I ordered some cute walking shoes.
Make sure you show Barbara. She's gonna want to know.
Or the shoe queen, yeah.
The shoe queen.
What's her Twitter handle? It's
yeah, I heard somebody was on the call. I think James, you were there too, but they were like, you have to get really colorful shoes. And I was like, no, I only
AV Shoe Queen, actually, is how she is. Barbara. Yeah.
AV Shoe Queen.
Yeah, from Avixa. Yeah.
I like branding.
for sure.
So Yeah, and that's I'm gonna have to go and find some like good walking like dress shoes, and also I think I'm gonna need new sneakers. So my
Oh,
my
cute.
runners are worn out. What was that, Lex?
I'm looking under Twitter. So cute. We love it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it looks like she had like just started too. Like she's
AV
already,
fashion. Wow.
yeah.
That's exciting.
Oh, so that was all right. So hold on, that was on March 1st. It was 95 days until Infocomm. We are now on March 10th. So that means 86 days as of us recording here. So I should probably book my hotel. I don't think I want to do like I did with Orlando and wait until like 2 weeks before.
No, that days in was not worth.
No, yeah. So for future reference, for anybody going to Orlando, the days in was value priced, and it was value priced for a reason.
Oh, no. Uh-oh, that's the story we don't know.
I don't want to knock them, because overall, like the hotel was okay. It was what it was for the price point it was.
Right.
But it was also just a regular days in with people that were regularly staying in that hotel because it was cheap. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. So
You
and
just
for
have
some
a sleepover with Joe. I'm sure his room's big.
I'm sure he's
Just try.
probably got some corner
Come
suite.
on, Joe is not. No way did he get a simple room.
oh, I'm sure, yeah. He's
Yeah.
got like the presidential premium platinum level, but
Yeah.
I feel
Some
like it's in
Some vendors cutting the bill for that. Some
Exactly.
vendor management.
Yeah.
it's like in Modern Family when Jay and Gloria are in I think they're actually in Vegas, and they're looking at the hotel rooms, and he gets bumped to like the premium. So and then he's like, oh well, what about these other things? Oh no, that's premium platinum, that's the 36th floor. And he goes outside and he's counting, and he goes 30, son of a it's like, yeah. So that's Joe getting the next level every time. So if you haven't watched Modern Family, go watch it. It's a funny series. If you could find it out on one of the streaming services. So
I'm an exclusive murder mystery gal, so yeah. It started like 6 months ago, and it's an unhealthy obsession. Also a little
What is
creepy
this?
for other people. Murder mysteries. Girl.
Like,
That seems to be
in
all the
general?
rage right now.
the serial killers or the
Have
other
you
one. Yeah.
have you seen, I mean, not to talk about podcasts other than our own, but there is a podcast about people really liking real crime murders.
So
Have
I
you heard
listen
that
to
one?
some of the podcasts, but mostly it'll be on YouTube during the day, while I'm working, or while I'm doing my makeup, like really anytime. It's good.
Okay. Well, all right then. It's nice
Yeah.
to know it's not happening to you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so interesting. And it's also like they don't really do graphics because there's YouTube guidelines, right? So it's not scary for me. It's not scary because it's just kind of like the factual storytelling of it. And there's not a lot of visuals. Like the visuals would, and the music, you know how scary music in movies that kind of
Well, I mean, after we spent a year and a half doing nothing but watching death rates, it seems logical that we'd switch to murder.
That's true.
why not at this point? Why not?
Well, and there's only so much time you could
Nice
spend on,
reference. Oh, shit.
and there's only so much time you could spend on season 2 of Tiger King. So it's like,
True story.
I completely forgot to watch Tiger King. Dang it.
well, hey, it's still there. You can
Well,
Yeah,
The
if you take
second-
a
the
break
second
Fine
season-
when-
between murders, you just
well, yeah. Speaking of murders, yeah, that's true.
I know.
joked.
I'm not saying Carol Baskin killed her husband, but she killed her husband.
Yeah. Totally did.
James, was there anything you had binged on during COVID, since we're
I've binge on a lot of different things. One that Lex, you might like. It's not a murder mystery or like that, but it's a play on it. It's called Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, Selena Gomez is
Oh.
in it.
Yes.
Is that on Apple Plus?
No.
Is that
I think
no,
it's
it's not Apple
on
Plus.
maybe Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it Prime? Okay. I know it's one of
Yeah.
those ones. Yeah.
It's one of those, but yeah, that was pretty good. Steve Martin and
Mhm.
them are in it, and it was pretty good. You might like that.
That's exciting.
And then Steve Greenblatt from Control Concept got me hooked on Ted Lasso. That was really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's on Apple TV.
I like his mustache.
Yeah.
There is
I'm
something
trying to
about
think
the
what else.
mustache. Yeah.
And there was another one. Yeah, that's about it.
You want a big undertaking of a binge. You got to go through Law and Order SVU. All 23
That's the
seasons
creepy
or whatever.
one.
Yeah. I used to
you want
watch that.
22 seasons, 23 seasons, something like that. Yeah. It's a lot.
SVU, what's SVU stand for?
Special Victims Unit.
Okay, then I think I've seen it. Like
That's the
I
one.
grew up with my like parents watching that.
Yeah. That's the one with Olivia Benson and the whole crew there. That's the rapist and
That's usually
the
sexual
shu-
victims unit. I
sexual
thought, but,
victims, yeah.
But special. Okay.
What about
Special-
the
they-
one-
Well, it's not just because they also so I used to watch it when it was on TV. They also do like any children crime, so it's not just
Yeah.
sexual in nature.
That's why they call it Special Victims, is that
Yeah.
it's specific, like
Still
things like that.
Extra
Yeah.
creepy. Extra creepy.
It's
victims
still
unit.
extra creepy. Yes.
That's a creepy. Yes.
So yeah, that was an undertaking. That was because they're like 45-minute episodes, and also it's a lot. It's a lot of episodes. So
I had the opportunity last year of rewatching because I kind of missed it the first when it was live. Deep
Mhm.
Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
I really enjoyed it because when Deep Space Nine was out in the time when it was airing, I was really into the alternate space station show, Babylon 5.
Hmm.
And that I still can't get over. Really like Babylon 5. But I
Are you
probably have to
also a
say-
Firefly fan as well, that got upset that Firefly got taken away?
See, I have stopped watching TV as TV quite a long time ago. So that was when I
Okay.
was watching, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into Deep Space Nine. And so I watched it all the way from beginning to end. Every evening, I would watch a little bit of it and kind of get through it. And some of them I watched like, ooh, this episode I need to watch again. And it was I really liked it. It was a little bit different than the usual Star Trek oeuvre, which I'm still a fan of. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like Deep Space Nine because I feel like there was always a constant stream of new alien creatures that came through because of where they were. So it was, it was definitely one of the more unique Star Trek experiences. I'm a big fan of Next Generation. That was always mine. Of the ones that have come out,
Next Gen.
I'm a Next Gen because my mom also watched it too. So like
That was
and that's what brought me into Star Trek. It was that series. Star Wars was my dad. Star Trek was my mom. So
Yeah, I grew up a Trekkie too.
Mhm.
My parents and watching Firefly.
and Firefly. There you go.
I think
will. So my
Firefly
first.
would probably been better if it were episodic, but I watch it now. It's like it's good, but
Yeah.
So I will say though, Murphy, my first like sci-fi female character crush was on Deep Space Nine. It was Jadzia Dax.
really,
Terry Farrell. Yeah.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, so what? Deep Space Nine was 93 to 99. So yeah, I was 13 to 19 years old. Like, so,
Interesting character.
tall brunette, like, yeah,
She was pretty.
and I also married a tall brunette. So yeah, I got a thing,
Wow.
Yeah.
But little known fact there.
Wow.
Dishing
But,
the dirt. Dishing the
yeah,
dirt.
dishing my teenage dirt. Yeah.
You
There you go.
never know what facts you're going to get on the AV life.
You never know. Yes.
Right.
Whether you want to or not.
Right.
You're like past him is like, no, be cool, man. Be cool. Don't tell.
So yeah, at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. It's like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
married and I got a kid.
Yeah.
Like, does it really matter at this point?
You don't have her poster still up in your bedroom, right?
No, exactly. So, you know,
Right. Posters.
no, that's in the little book I keep to the
Okay.
side over. No, just kidding.
Oh,
Honey, you could use a little spots. Little spots tattoos.
No. So yeah. So anyway, coming back around, we're all very excited for Infocom.
Yeah.
I think that's where we went off the rails with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Infocom and all the
So, and speaking and since it is it was on Tuesday, it was International Women's Day on March 8th, which also happens to be my would have been my mom's birthday. And for those who don't know, my mom passed in July last year, 2021. She would have been 77 this year. So and I know, I think the other Tim Tim Albright had posted on Twitter that, you know, one of his inspirational women was his mom, and so was mine. You know, but she was that involved mom that was always everywhere, and I feel like that it was, and she loved everybody and was always forgiving and always just open, available to things, and go with the flow like I am. And I think a lot of my character came from her, and I love that about her, and that she had that impact on me, and she is one of those impactful women. So I leave it open to our women of AV here and on the AV life, and to James. Who are the impactful women in your life? Can be one, can be multiple if there are multiples. And this is not also I will preface this for everybody, this is not a limited list. So there, you know, we do know that there are many fabulous women of AV and of the world that have impacted us in many ways. So this is, I'm just, you know, we don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm throwing that all out there first. So Renee?
I think mine probably goes back to, it's my grandmother. I mean, my mom's great too, but my grandmother, I was the first grandchild, so maybe this is why, but on that side, but involved every second of my life. I mean, she was like that best friend, even though there was, you know, obvious age gap. I mean, I would spend the night there on Saturday nights just so I could have her teach me whatever it was she was cooking the next day or whatever. I mean, I go back to cooking, cleaning, anything that I learned or picked up on. I got it from her first, I feel like. And like literally, she always used to tease me about getting married. You need to get married. You need to get married. And it's like, well, it's not 1920. I don't have to go get married. But, and then when I finally met my husband, when we were dating and we got engaged, she's like, I knew it. I knew one day you would find the right guy. And she was so excited. And she went and bought the dress that she was going to wear to the wedding, like, I don't know, 6 months before the wedding, you know, a long time. And she ended up passing about 3 months before my wedding, but we buried her in that dress. I was like, I know she would want to do that, but I still have a picture of her on my refrigerator. So I say hi to her every day, say a quick prayer with her, but there's so many things still to this day that I look back on and like, she's still influencing me. She's been gone 4 years, right? She's still sending me messages or or I think of something, I'm like, yeah, grandma would have done this. Oh, what would grandma have done here? And so I know we all love our grandmas, you know, right? Grandmas are great, but there's just so much more. It's like, she just went that extra step, no matter what. It makes sense. But yeah,
it does.
That would be mine. That would be mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome, Renee.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else from the rest of the crew? Or Lex?
So obviously my mom, but like that's kind of a given. My little sister, because she's the bravest person I know. She's that child that like jumps off of things. And I refused to go on like slides because I didn't like that it shocked me. Like I would literally sit on the bench with the moms at the park, and Joy would be like whooping, lying over the park, all over, making friends, and I'd be like, no, it's dirty, I can't do that. So my sister's like wildly cool and just does whatever she wants to do and has never cared about what anyone thought. My mom and we butt heads so much because I'm literally the opposite of her, but you know, she is faithfully there for our family. So I've always appreciated that about her. And as far as the industry goes, I would say Corey Schaefer, obviously. Mad cool girl crush all the way. Like the first time I saw her, I was like, and I think it was over Zoom call. And I remember being like, Joe, who is that? She's cool. She's cool.
Cool.
And it's like, it's almost to the point where like, I'm too shy to talk to her. Like at Infocomm, I was asked for an interview with this media company thing. And then so I was like, okay, but I wasn't sure if it was actually legit because Joe had never even heard of it. But then I was like, well, YOLO. And then I went over and then they had, and I did the interview and then Corey Schaefer was after me. And then I felt 10 times cooler about being interviewed by them because I'm like, they interviewed Corey too, like way cool. And then Erin, obviously, she was so sweet. And I think she helped make Infocomm just that much better for me because I knew the people who I knew, which was fun in a small group, but literally only men for the most part. So it was really nice to have Erin and just to be able to like bond with her. And yeah, so those two women I think are incredible. They're kind, outspoken, in the sense that like they're willing to share and be a part or share their story to the industry and like the good and the bad parts of it. But I think that it is inspiring to see successful professional women out here, like showing people a sense of community and really like bringing them in and just showing like the kindness of it all, you know, so it's just, I'm also a really big career person. So it's really nice to see these fantastic women who like kind of seem like they have it all, you know, I'm like, wow, families and a career and all that. They're just super cool, inspiring women. Like I have a puppy right now and it's insane. So just amazing women. So I think those two are the women in this industry so far that have really stuck out to me. Not saying other people haven't, but
yeah. Those are good ones.
Yeah, they are. Murphy, James.
I'll let Murphy go.
Just which women have inspired me.
Yeah, it doesn't professionally or personally or however you want to.
There's always been there's always been some woman, you know what, just this week I met somebody in my class, my martial arts class, which I'll be leaving for in about a few minutes, but in 10 minutes or so. But she had just started and I was like, hey, so what do you do with your life? And she was it 30 or 40 years, a ridiculous long amount of time that she has been a woman who designed and continues to design power plants for AT&T.
Wow.
Like, that is so freaking cool. I want to know more about that. And it's so much fun to find somebody like that's not AV, right? But it's sort of in the, you know, neighborhood of what just makes me really zing. Like, hey, I told her, my telephone. I tried to show her the pictures of the telephone, but my hair was in the way. That like, yeah,
Right.
telephony is my jam. I really like telephony, and this is what AV is based on. This is how we communicate, is the way across the world that we've been able to connect with one another. And it has always been interesting to me. I'm like, there's a separate power for phones. If the electricity goes out, a landline will still have power. I don't have a landline anymore, but they do. And when I have to put in a system for an AV system and there is like, okay, we need to have the POTS line from time to time has to be incorporated in it. And like, yeah, so that one has power and it's so interesting to me. And I'm like, wow, that's a whole power system. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So having that, when I every once in a while, like we'll meet up with a woman who's in the same field and we get to be like nerdy with each other. And it's really fun in a special way because we go, oh, isn't it nice? Sorry, guys. Isn't it nice that we can just talk to each other? And it's different. It's different when I'm talking with another woman. She's like, okay, well, how's like this? And tell me what you do. And we have a whole different type of conversation. And I really enjoy it. I really love meeting women who have this depth of experience, and they're willing to talk to me about it and share with me and tell me what it's been like. And she said that she long ago got a degree from DeVry and took the test, and she was like the only one, and she took a test to get in at AT&T, and she wasn't the only applicant because AT&T is a big deal even now. And she aced the test. She was the only one that passed. And so
that's awesome.
Here she is 40 years later across many different logos.
Yeah.
And she goes, I've worked for this one, this one, this one. Oh yeah, that one did good video conferencing. Anyway, so I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Yeah, there are tons of women that inspire me, but I'd love to meet a new woman who's had an adventure in her career that's willing to share with me. And I love to be able to share my adventures as well.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, and I could tell in your voice that you're very excited by that.
Yeah.
You're telling that story. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
All right, James.
I mean, as everyone said, definitely my mom. She definitely inspires me because she raised 4 boys by herself. So she was amazing there. But as I go on, each time there's different females that inspire me. I mentioned Erin's keynote or speech at Infocom was very good. Lex, I always look up to her. She's awesome. Renee Murphy, you got everyone out there is awesome. But recently, I would say probably the one that inspires me the most is I just got done reading, and Tim, you might like this, a book by Corey Lloyd, former grad, former national team, soccer player. Do you know when she was on the U21 national team, she was told she was not good enough for the national team?
Wow.
She was kicked off and told she was not national team material, and she was ready to hang up her boots and be done with soccer. And then she got involved with a trainer who pushed her and didn't charge her a dime and turned her into probably the best women's soccer player in the United States history. And her whole thing was, which I try to teach the girls I'm coaching, is when nobody was watching. Her whole thing was like, she would train on Christmas Day, and people would ask her why. She's like, because no one else is. And she was training on Thanksgiving because no one else is. When people were out partying, she was out training and getting better. And there was times she was bench. Like reading the book, I didn't even realize that she was bench for that. She didn't fit the scheme that the national team was playing or all this stuff, but she didn't let that bother her. Well, it bothered her, but she always took it as, instead of shutting down, as a chance to go, I'm going to prove you wrong. And that's what she did. She would go out there and prove people wrong. So a Jersey person, a soccer player, and a Rutgers grad.
Go are you?
Yeah. That's cool though. That's really
That
inspiring.
is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she, like I said, I've always have looked up to her. She's been amazing soccer player. And then I just actually finished her book today. And it was a very good book and a lot of good information in there about her.
Very cool. Well, and like, like we've all said, there are so many wonderful and amazing women out there that have all impacted us, and definitely the women on this show tonight, and the many others that are out there that we just won't have time for to name off, but know that we all love you, and that we all thank you for, inspiring us on a daily basis. So yeah, I mean, and thank you to everyone who's here tonight. Thank you, Lex, for joining us again. You're now also the proud owner of the multi times on the AV Life. You could say that.
Exciting.
So you still have a ways to go to catch up to like a Harry Mead, or we got other people that have been, or actually, we want to talk about amazing women, Gina Sansevero, who has also been on the show many times.
Yep.
Corey has also been on this show many times, to go with your little girl crush there, Lex. So
I hope she doesn't listen to this. That's gonna be
I'm sure she does.
I'm sure she does.
nope.
I will make sure she does.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm with you, Lex. Corey is awesome. She's amazing.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
First time I met her in person after seeing her just on Twitter and stuff, it was just like her energy just spews out. She's just so amazing. I just, yeah, you cannot be around her and not just have this big smile or be happy. I mean,
I feel like she has like so much wisdom. Like she just spews knowledge, I feel like, or she doesn't even have to say anything. And I'm like, wow, she knows things.
great.
Well, thank you for joining us, Lex. Thank you to my crew. Lex, let our listening crew know where they can find you if they so want to.
So I rebranded because why not? And to honor the fact that I now live in the South, my my usernames on all platforms is Howdy It's Lex. So
Howdy, it's Lex. Okay, really embracing the Southern. I get it.
Woohoo, yeehaw.
Well, yeah, you can find Lex out there. Find us at the AV Life Pod, higheretav.com, the recently redesigned AV Life, higheretav.com. Sorry, as I'm like babbling too many addresses, but and also on YouTube, look for us, subscribe and like, and keep an eye out for our videos. And until our next adventure.